Good morning. Dr. Barry, Melbourne, Australia, land of news. The consequences of being hoodwinked, and we've been hoodwinked very, very bad. My sister in Ireland, she had a stroke because of the media, not the virus, the media, the continuous pounding of this idiotic information, the deaths. The consequences are very severe. Lots of people, I dare say, have committed suicide because of this, but the media, they won't hear about it. Now, I'm just going to show you a clip from Tucker Carlson on Fox News. It explains the whole thing very simply. California, for example, there is 40 million people and 1,000 people died from so-called coronavirus. He also explains that 4,000 people died from choking while eating their food. So it's just idiotic. Have a look at this and see what you think.
Coronavirus deaths are still clustered in a strikingly small number of places. Look at the numbers. A pattern emerges. Only 9 states out of 50, as of right now, have recorded more than 1,000 deaths from the virus. Close to half of all deaths nationwide have occurred in just 2 states, New York and New Jersey. New York has recorded 15,302 deaths. New Jersey, about a third of that, 5,063. After New York and New Jersey, the death totals per state declined dramatically. You would not necessarily expect that to happen. New York and New Jersey do have very dense urban areas, but they're not the biggest states in the country by population. In fact, New York is 4th on that list. New Jersey is 11th. Our 3 biggest states have been relatively lightly touched. California, which is by far the largest, has seen just 1,268 deaths out of a population of nearly 40 million. Texas, number 2, has had only 517 deaths. Florida, 867. Now, for perspective, about 4,000 Americans die every year from choking on their meals. So why is this happening? Or more precisely, in so many places, why is it not happening? Why are the numbers so skewed toward the urban Northeast? The answer is nobody's really sure, but we should try and find out. If half of all Americans killed in Vietnam came from New York and New Jersey, we'd probably take a close look at how we were conducting the draft. There must be a reason the proportions are this distorted. We ought to figure out what it is, and let's hope we do. But for now, what's clear is that this virus is concentrated, not simply in a handful of states, but in a small number of places, especially southern New York, in and around New York City, and northern New Jersey, particularly the counties from which people commute into New York City. Possibly because these are also the places where most of our national media figures live, the pandemic often seems like a nationwide disaster. It definitely is a disaster, no question about that. Many people have died, and many will continue to die, sadly. But as a factual matter, the virus itself hasn't yet been a nationwide killer. In some states, it has barely happened. In Nebraska, 38 people have died so far. In Arkansas, 43. New Mexico, 65. Idaho, 51. Vermont, 40. In Oregon, a state of more than 4 million people with a couple of dense urban areas, including Portland, the total death toll tonight is 79. This is very good news and unexpected. We expected the virus would sweep across our country. It has not done that. Consider Maine. Maine has the oldest population of any state in America. The median age there is 45. More than a fifth of the state is over 65. Based on what officials have repeatedly told us, you would expect that Maine would be devastated by this virus. Yet as of tonight, a total of only 44 people there have died from it. Far more people in Maine have been killed or injured hitting moose in the past 5 years. Yet last month, Governor Janet Mills panicked and ordered Maine residents to stay in their homes. As she later explained in a radio address, if you love your family, you will obey.
This virus will continue to sicken people across our state and our country. Our cases will grow, and unfortunately,
Nearly a month after she ordered the state to stay home, fewer than 50 people in Maine have died. And at some point, Governor Mills is going to be asked about this, and she will almost certainly try to take credit for the low death toll. She'll claim her lockdown saved countless lives. The problem is she doesn't know that that's true, and there's evidence it isn't. South Dakota didn't lock down at all. Only 9 people have died there. But in the meantime, Maine families have been destroyed by Mills's decision. In the past 5 weeks, more than 100,000 people in the state have filed for unemployment. That's nearly 10% of the entire population. That includes women, children, the elderly, men working, not everybody. It's been a complete disaster. Maine's economy has long been fragile. It will not recover from this for years, if it ever does recover. So did Janet Mills make a wise decision when she shut down her state? If you think she did, please explain what other communicable diseases we should respond to by causing mass unemployment. You could ask the same question in West Virginia. 31 people have died there so far. Or Montana. Montana's death toll tonight is 14. So maybe the lesson of all of this is not every place in America is the same. Not everywhere is New York or New Jersey. The threat to rural America from this virus is minuscule, is happening. Companies based in America's cities, as well as in mainland China, have flooded rural America with narcotics. Over a 5-year period, one pharma company, McKesson, shipped almost 100 million doses of opioid painkillers to the state of West Virginia. McKesson sent more than 1 million of those pills to a single county in West Virginia, a county with a total population of fewer than 25,000 people. By the end, predictably, West Virginia had the highest drug overdose rate in America. This was a man-made epidemic, and it's still raging. That epidemic has killed far more Americans than the Wuhan coronavirus has or will. But how many times have you seen that story on the Today Show? How many questions about it were Democratic candidates forced to answer during last fall's debates? Not so many. What's been happening to rural America, people who live there, for the past 30 years has been an unprecedented disaster. It's been a mass human tragedy. Unfortunately, as far as our leaders are concerned, these are the wrong people. They don't really count. That's one thing we've definitely learned in the last month.
Have a quick look at this movie, They Live, which was made back in the mid-80s, I think 86, 87. And it really explains what's going on, how we've been hoodwinked. Would you wear the glasses? And if you did, would you believe what you've seen? Even if it was in plain black and white, you'd probably ignore it. No, the people watching this now would not, but the living dead most certainly would. They wouldn't even watch the clip. Anyway, have a look, quick.
What's your problem? I said, what's your problem?
How are you today, sir?
Okay, how's it going?
Fine, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Well, if people are not convinced after watching those clips from Tucker Carlson, they live way back in 1986, 87 when it all started. People knew they were being hoodwinked then. If you're watching this now, of course, you people are exceptional because you know what's going on. You're making a stand. And by God, we've got a long way to go. But the average working man, working woman, they don't want to know. They won't watch this information. You've only got to share something that's going to benefit them on Facebook and anywhere else, and you'll probably get 2 or 3 likes. And you couldn't even convince somebody who's ill there is a cure for the problem you've got. You'd have to hit them over the head. It's sad. Anyway, thanks for watching. Dr. Barry signing off, London News in Melbourne, and just keep on subscribing. And thanks to all the people who have around the world. Actually, it's really good. I appreciate it. I'm not doing this for any money, as you probably know, but I'm doing it because I'd like to help people, and I'd like to help myself to get out of this absolute obey situation. Good night. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.